Hello and welcome to Creative Sparkle. My name's Holly and today we're doing an art journal prompt list. So grab your art supplies and let's get crafting. Hello, thank you for joining me today. So we're working in a normal sketchbook today, so we don't necessarily need to be using gesso. So the first prompt we're going to be working with is to prime your page with any colour. So obviously if you want to prime your page with gesso, that's fine. I have chosen to use an acrylic paint and it's in the colour Iris, and I'm just going to spread that over the background as my primer. You can use whatever colour that you wish. So once the base is dry, we'll move on to prompt number 2, which is to split the page into 4 or more sections. So as you can see here, I've decided to go diagonally across the page, and I'm using the centre as a mark to split my page into 8 sections, so it's a minimum of 4, so that's what I've decided to do, and I've decided to do it over the centre. So if you decided that you wanted to do a box here, a box there, or a circle here, it doesn't matter how you split them into sections, just as long as it has 4 or more sections, we can work on the page together. So moving on to prompt number 3 is fill at least one section with doodles or Zentangles. So I've already drawn out what I wanted to have on the page, and I'm just using a black Sharpie to fill in the pattern that I've drawn. And once I completed the pattern in the left triangle that you can see, I actually traced it so that it's a mirror image on that page on the right. So I'm going to fill those shapes in with the Sharpie, and then on the other triangle I'm going to fill in the negative space with the Sharpie. So you'll see there is a slight difference between the two sections. If you wanted to use several colours or just Zentangle over the project, then that's completely up to you. As long as you're filling one section with doodles or Zentangles, I'm sure it will turn out great. So once we're happy with the Zentangles, we'll move on to prompt number 4, which is to add a sky scene to the spread. So I've taken some washi tape and I've chosen one of the segments that I have, and I'm just going to tape it off so that I don't spill into the other segments. And I'm using a light blue colour just to spread over the background. And then once I've filled that triangle, you don't have to do a blue sky, you could do a sunset sky, you can do whatever kind of sky, the galaxy sky, or whatever you like. Whatever you think fits with your page better. I just wanted to do a blue sky. It was just what I was feeling at the time. So after I've finished with the blue, I'm going to use white acrylic paint just to add some clouds on there. And I'm using a stippling effect with a paintbrush just to get that fluffy look to the clouds. Again, you don't have to have clouds. If that's not what your sky involves, then that's fine. I just wanted clouds because that's what I was feeling at the time. So obviously it's taken me quite a while to get these clouds done, so I'll just skip over the rest of the clouds and pull the washi tape off so that you can see the finished segment there. And then once you're happy with your sky, we'll move on to the next prompt. The next prompt is going to be number 5, which is to add texture paste to your page, filling at least one section. So I've decided to fill 2 sections, and again I've used the washi tape just to go over so we don't spill out into the other sections. And I've chosen this stencil, and the texture paste I've chosen to use is actually gilding polish, which this is the Ocean Teal Gilding Polish by Cosmic Shimmer. And I'm going to use the stencil just to apply that, as you can see here. And then once I'm happy with that, the other section I'm actually choosing a different colour. So once I've filled that section and peeled the stencil off, I'll give the stencil a wash and then go in with the second colour. So the second colour is Indian Pink, and once I've finished that, actually when I pull the stencil off, you see that unfortunately that one didn't go as well as the blue one, so there are sections where it's bled through. So what I do is go in again with the background colour and just fill in those sections just to sort it out once it's dry, and then hopefully it'll look a lot better when it's done. So once that's dry again, we'll move on to the next prompt. You don't have to use coloured texture paste. If you want to use white one or clear one, that's completely up to you. So prompt number 6 is to use 2 or 3 different mediums to add colour or interest to your page. So I've chosen that same blue that I used for the sky, and I've decided to go over this section. I'm not sure why I decided that, but that's what I decided to go with. And again, I'm using the washi tape, and I actually decided that I wanted to go with 2 sections with the blue. So I have completed that as my first medium. And the second medium I'm going in with is tissue paper, and I'm only going to use tissue paper on one of the sections, so this one here. And I'm using Mod Podge just to apply the tissue paper. I've cut out the shape that I need, and I'll pop that onto the space there. And then I'm going to use Mod Podge to go over the top of it as well. It doesn't have to be a paper or a tissue or whatever that you use. Whatever you have available to you. You could end up using some ephemera or some cotton. Maybe you want to add some different clouds, or it's completely down to what is going to work with your page the best. So the third medium, I know it says 2 or more, so I've gone with 3. So the third medium is the white gel pen. So I've outlined the stars on the tissue paper, put dots on that second blue triangle, and then I've gone back and added some swirls in there as well. So that's the maximum. So prompt number 7 is to draw or paint or add a face peeking through one of the sections as your focal image. So I have this napkin that I have in my stash, and I decided that that would look interesting on this page. And I thought the colours went quite well, the black and white, and then it's got a couple of pink flowers as well, which I thought just went with the page quite well. So I've cut this out, and I'm just going to stick that down with some Mod Podge and then cut away the excess so it is only within that triangle or section. If you have different sized sections, different shaped sections, you just do what works for you, and I'm sure it will turn out great. Feel free to draw your own. If you wanted to have just some eyes peeking through or part of a face peeking through, it doesn't have to be an animal. I've chosen an animal because that's something that I found in my stash that I thought would look great. And so if you wanted to do a person or an alien or whatever you feel, completely up to you. So prompt number 8 is to fill one section with your title, quote, or journaling, etc. So if you wanted to just journal on the page as an art journal, you can just write that out on there. That's completely up to you. You could put a quote in there. I've actually chosen to go with a title on this occasion, and I'm outlining with silver. I've drawn it onto the page, and it's just like clouds, like my sky scene. So I'm going to go in with the white acrylic and just add it with a cotton pad, so it kind of looks like clouds like the other one. So I will go again over with the silver after I finish with that, because I just want to make sure it's got that shimmer. So the next prompt is number 9, which is to add a border to your piece. So after using the silver with the title, I decided to go in with a bold silver pen that I have and just go around the edge of the piece for the border. It is only a simple small border that I've chosen because I think my page is quite busy already. So if you wanted to, I don't know, you could add washi tape or ribbon or stamp, do whatever border you feel goes with your page better. So the 10th and final prompt is to finish with adding an element of your choice. I had to think long and hard for this one, and I couldn't figure out for the longest time what my final element would be. But in the end I decided to go with silver gel pen, and I added some highlights to the tiger's eyes, and then decided to go and add some highlights to the clouds, which I regretted in the end, but never mind. And then I was adding silver pen just to the Zentangled pieces here as an outline, but decided I liked it, so I added it to the rest of the piece as well. So that's that finished, and I will put the full prompt list and the images at the end as usual. If you do decide to take part in the prompt list, please do tag me with the hashtag #SparklePrompts on Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time, where we will turn your creative spark into a creative sparkle. Thanks. Bye.